and Assistant Secretary in the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs, Barbara Feinstein. That's where this major agreement was reached.
All visas currently in existence and validly issued to holders of Antigua and Barbuda passports will continue to be respected and accepted for entry into the United States. This applies to all visa categories, including B1, B2, J, and M visas. For the avoidance of any doubt, this includes tourist, business, student, and other valid United States issued visas.
No visas issued to the nationals of Antigua and Barbuda will be revoked. A decision has also been taken which will affect visa applications submitted after December 31 this year by nationals of Antigua and Barbuda and of the 4 other OACS states which offer citizenship by investment programs, or CBI.
These arrangements relate specifically to the collection of biometric information of Antigua and Barbuda passport holders to ensure full compatibility with the United States biometric systems. I emphasize that the process of gathering the biometric information will be no different than that which now applies to all Antigua and Barbuda citizens. Only the technology will change to align it with the US system. This alignment of biometric data systems will apply to all citizens of Antigua and Barbuda, including citizens by birth, descent, naturalization, and investment.
Antigua and Barbuda and the 4 other states offering CBI programs are set to meet with U.S. officials to discuss those details next year. That meeting will take place between January 26 and 30.
That's the first step in the process of aligning the gathering of the information, which I think is what the United States' biggest concern is. They need to know who are getting their visas with the kind of depth that they're come to, looking at the biometric information. That's why the alignment of the 2 biometric systems is so important.
Sir Ronald praises Prime Minister Brown, with whom he has worked closely since President Trump's proclamation on Tuesday. He says he has also benefited from the legal advice from Sir Sedroy Benjamin, the Attorney General, and has kept Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable E.P. Chet Green fully informed. Proclamation did say a 180-day timeline for a review. It must be quite pleasing that this matter has been addressed within literally 48 hours, because otherwise the country would have had to wait 6 months before there's any sort of review on this issue.
Well, absolutely, Garfield. The fact that we've achieved this in such short order is an indication of the work we put into it, of the confidence that people in the United States at the official level have in our working together. And I have to say that I work very closely with the United States government in the Organization of American States and in other areas. And I do so because of what I have just said to you. It is important, if you are to make progress, to keep open doors, to continue dialogue, and to work in your mutual interest.
So no change in travel arrangements for Antiguans and Barbudans with valid U.S. visas, but there will be changes on the horizon for visa applications from this country and other CBI countries after December 31. It's welcome news for many who had expressed anxiety.
I have been working for the government of Antigua since 1976. In my entire diplomatic career, there's one thing and one thing only that guides what I do, and it is this. What I do here and wherever I worked, in Britain and Europe, UNESCO, in the long career that I've had, the question always in my mind is this: will the work that I do here bring any benefit to the ordinary man in Antigua? Will it advance his life or her life? Will it make it better? And if the answer to that is yes, then it justifies what I do.
All right, Dominica 449. Also, we heard from the Prime Minister on, I think, Friday night. Read this whole visa issue, and the U.S. may have changed their mind about it. But I'm getting a different reaction, and we'll share that conversation with a U.S. Dominican-based U.S. immigration lawyer in a minute. But let's listen to the Prime Minister, Mr. Skerritt. Let's listen.
Big tonight, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt announced late Friday that the U.S. has suspended the immigration proclamation that would have restricted U.S. entry to its passport holders from the new year. Only earlier this week, the United States announced the barring of travelers from Dominica and Antigua, citing security risks tied to the Golden Passport programs. But late on Friday, Prime Minister Skerritt said following diplomatic presentations from Rosso, this has been put aside for now.
There has been a suspension of this proclamation. So Dominicans who are currently holders of visas of any kind or any type are able to travel to the United States past January 1st, 2025.
Skerritt called it a major development.
So it's a very important, and I want to thank the United States government itself for understanding the situation and agreeing to set aside for the time being the proclamation from the United States government. And so this is good news. The anxieties that we all would have had should be set aside, and we will continue engaging as a partner for so many years, and we will continue working with them on whatever issues that they may have and concerns they may have as we move forward together.
In a related development, the Antigua and Barbuda government also announced on Friday that it had reached an agreement with the United States, allowing for its nationals currently holding valid visas to be allowed entry into the North American country. The government statement said there will be no revocation of any existing visas issued to nationals of Antigua and Barbuda prior to 31st December 2025. Antiguan diplomat Ronald Saunders said, however, new visa applicants submitted after January 1, 2026 will be subject to new arrangements that are still to be worked out. He said these arrangements relate specifically to the collection of biometric information of Antigua and Barbuda passport holders to ensure full compatibility with the United States biometric systems.
All right, Dominica. No. Interesting, huh? Interesting. Because on the very night, the very, very night, or the next day, since that story broke, let me go back to that text there. Was it Tuesday night? A lot of people told me that was already in the proclamation. So there are exemptions for green card holders as well. I'm just reading the text here, and the very day. There are exemptions for green card holders as well as persons with visitors and other visitors as well as athletes and diplomats. It's a partial ban. So why are these leaders grandstanding what is already there? No new visas or green cards will be issued after January 1. But if you already have, no problems. So why are these leaders, why are they? That information was passed on, since the very next day. So why are these leaders trying to lay claim and people rejoicing on Facebook? That was already there in the proclamation. I also heard there from a lawyer who spoke to Loftus Jura on the weekend. We have to be very, very careful. Huh? Listen to this lawyer. Listen.
Leaders came out to say that people with visas would be able to travel without any type of restrictions. To That is a bit okay. So I'm gonna start off by saying that the way it works when you get to the airport, the way CBP works is once you're on that list, if the supervisors decide that they're not letting anybody from those countries in, you can have a visa valid until the end of eternity. They're not going to let you in. So, right now, because all of this is so fresh and with our leaders telling us that, oh, you can travel, I personally would not travel until I see something concrete from the United States stating that what they are telling us is true. Because I went back again and looked at the actual proclamation itself. And if you go down to the section where they talk about Dominica, what it says under Dominica is Dominica has historically had CBI without residency. The entry into the United States of nationals of Dominica as immigrants and as non-immigrants on B1, B2, F, M, and J visas is hereby suspended, and consular officers shall reduce the validity of non-immigrant visas issued to Dominicans. While entry into the U.S. is discretionary, and if you have a very strong, compelling reason for wanting to come to the U.S., it is very likely that you may be able to get in. If we're looking at the plain language here, it's hard to believe what we're hearing about, oh, you can just travel freely, nothing is going to happen, and all of that. But based on how it's been enforced in the past with other countries, they actually do not renew the visas of people from countries on this list. And people from these countries experience a lot more scrutiny when trying to enter the United States. And based on those practices, we can know that it's basically going to be very similar for Dominica, or if not the same.
Yeah, if not the same. Let me just quote now some of the texts that I was trying to pull up earlier. It says here, and I'm quoting from Nature Island News. It says here, Rosa Dominica, 19th December, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit Friday thanked the United States government for suspending a proclamation. Yes, let me take that again. Thanked the United States government for suspending a proclamation that would have prevented Dominicans from entering the North American country from January 1 next year. He continues by saying, speaking on the state-owned DBS radio, Skerrit said that following discussions with the United States officials at the embassy in Barbados, as well as the State Department in Washington, an agreement has been reached to suspend the proclamation that had been announced on Tuesday by President Donald Trump. Open quote from Skerrit now. I would like to thank the United States government itself for understanding the situation and agreeing to set aside for the time being the proclamation. And so this is good news. The anxieties that we all would have should be set aside, close quote. Skerrit told listeners, adding that Roosevelt was looking forward to continuing the good relations as it enjoyed with Washington in the past. And the story basically continued with the proclamation of Dominican Trump and more details. But in a nutshell, Ms. Joe, basically the story is telling us here that Skerrit said after negotiations or discussions with not just the embassy folks, but folks in the State Department as well, that proclamation basically is put on hold.
Well, I mean, like I said, we have to just wait. I guess it's new. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. So maybe that's what he was told, and that Washington has not yet published this. But we have to be very careful with, speaking to people who may be telling you things that they probably don't even have the authority to tell you. Because the way our president works in the United States, he does what he wants to do, right? So unless I have somebody saying they have a letter from him personally stating that he is going to revoke this and he's going to suspend it, and there's no way it's going to be suspended without official notice, just like how they have official notice of the list. So I say we give it at least a week to see if the White House publishes something. I don't think that the heads of two Caribbean countries would misrepresent themselves to that extent. I mean, I just don't see how it would make sense because people can read and people have a brain and people would actually be able to decipher something like that if it's misleading. So I'm thinking probably it's just a situation where, the US has not yet updated their stuff.
Well, let us hope. Let us wait and see. And we will see if that story is true based on what is coming out from Dominica and Antigua, to be precise. Yeah?
Yes. But I'm actually paying attention to it. I have some people in the US that we've been monitoring it. Mm-hmm. So if anything comes up, ILA usually sends out something to all the attorneys when anything changes. I have not seen that. The liaison to, the White House, to USCIS, these people have not seen that up till Friday. Mm-hmm. I had a Dominican client who's showed up for the interview, and the officer said they could not interview anybody from Dominica. I asked the officer if they, technically the proclamation doesn't go into effect until January, and from what I'm hearing, it's been suspended for Dominica. The officer told me that is not correct. They do not have any information that suggests that that is true. However, like I said, maybe they just have to tell
And that was Tamika Jude, a Dominican lawyer based in Florida, U.S. citizen, speaking to on the UPP's program on Saturday night. Speaking to Loftus Jura of the UPP. The program, are we ready? So the question is, who do you believe, huh? That's a U.S. immigration lawyer from Dominica, based in Florida. Special guest. And as I said, I was already given that information. On the very same day, from some hotelier, and of course, the leader of the United Workers' Party as well, Dr. Thompson Funk. He's on the line. Dr. Thompson Funk, what do you think is going on here?
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Morning to you.
I think I suspect it's a little bit of a misunderstanding because, for example, the ambassador to the US indicated very clearly that he had received clarifications on the proclamation. It was not, as far as he was concerned, any new order from the United States of America, but rather clarification. And if you listen very well to our own Prime Minister, he does indicate that what this implies is that existing visa holders will have access to the United States. That is the exact same thing that was mentioned in the proclamation, because the proclamation was given, which says that beginning January 1st, there would be those travel restrictions. But within that same proclamation, there was an exception for existing visa holders. And that is the exact same thing that the Prime Minister represented or spoke about, just that he indicated that the actual proclamation was suspended. I don't believe that is to be correct. I suspect that the proclamation is still. So what that means is that beginning January 1, there will be no new issuance of visas. There will be no new interviews for persons with green cards. But if you're already in possession of a green card, or if you're already in possession of a visa, you will have access to the United States. They will honor those previously issued visas and green cards.
But it seems like a celebration that took place, on was it Friday when that announcement was made? Like it was Mr. Skerritt and Gaston Brown who initiated this change of proclamation there. A celebration has taken place. Was it already in the proclamation?
Yes, man, I find that to be very, very strange and unusual because the villains there, if there are any, are those two prime ministers. The persons who have gotten us to this point is the Prime Minister of Dominica and the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. And now to try to pass themselves off as saviors, I think is just really disingenuous. That is political grandstanding in my mind. Because the problem that we have, the reason why we're even talking about that this morning is because when the United States indicated that they would be nothing, absolutely nothing was done to prevent that action by the United States government. So now to try to pretend as if they are the saviors, I think it's really bad. It's just political posturing. But the Dominican public must hold Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit accountable for whatever actions have been taken against them.
Again, thank you, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. We'll talk to you. There are other issues that we have to explore, but we'll of course talk to you sometime in the near future. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Fontaine.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you. Again, let's listen to this U.S. lawyer on this issue of the visas. She said, according to her group, they have no information about that. So we have to tread carefully, huh? Let's listen again to Tamika Jude before we move to our friends from the credit union, and we'll take phone calls after this, huh? There's a lot more. Tamika Jude. A young lady from Grand Bay. Grand Bay, take a bow. South City.
Our leaders came out to say that people with visas would be able to travel without any type of restrictions. That is a bit okay. So I'm going to start off by saying that the way it works when you get to the airport, the way CBP works is once you're on that list, if the supervisors decide that they're not letting anybody from those countries in, you can have a visa valid until the end of eternity. They're not going to let you in. So right now, because all of this is so fresh and with our leaders telling us that, oh, you can travel, I personally would not travel until I see something concrete from the United States stating that what they are telling us is true, because I went back again and looked at the actual proclamation itself. And if you go down to the section where they talk about Dominica, what it says under Dominica is Dominica has historically had CBI without residency. The entry into the United States of nationals of Dominica as immigrants and as non-immigrants on B1, B2, FM, and J visas is hereby suspended. And consular officers shall reduce the validity of non-immigrant visas issued to Dominicans. While entry into the U.S. is discretionary, and if you have a very strong, compelling reason for wanting to come to the U.S., it is very likely that you may be able to get in. If we're looking at the plain language here, it's hard to believe what we're hearing about, oh, you can just travel freely, nothing is going to happen, and all of that. But based on how it's been enforced in the past with other countries, they actually do not renew the visas of people from countries on this list. And people from these countries experience a lot more scrutiny when trying to enter the United States. And based on those practices, we can know that it's basically going to be very similar for Dominica. Or if not the same.
Yeah, if not the same. Let me just quote now some of the texts that I was trying to pull up earlier. It says here, and I'm quoting from Nature Island News. It says here, Rosa Dominica, 19th December, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit Friday thanked the United States government for suspending a proclamation. Yes, let me take that again. Thanked the United States government for suspending a proclamation that would have prevented Dominicans from entering the North American country from January 1 next year. He continues by saying, speaking on the state-owned DBS radio, Skerrit said that following discussion with the United States officials at the embassy in Barbados, as well as the State Department in Washington, an agreement has been reached to suspend the proclamation that had been announced on Tuesday by President Donald Trump. Open quote from Skerrit now, I would like to thank the United States government itself for understanding the situation and agreeing to set aside for the time being the proclamation. And so this is good news. The anxieties that we all would have should be set aside, close quote. Skerrit told listeners, adding that Roosevelt was looking forward to continuing the good relations as it enjoyed with Washington in the past. And the story basically continued with the proclamation of Donald Trump and more details. But in a nutshell, Ms. Jude, basically the story is telling us here that Skerrit said after negotiations or discussions with not just the embassy folks, but folks in the State Department as well, that proclamation basically is put on hold.
Well, I mean, like I said, we have to just wait. I guess it's new. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. So maybe that's what he was told and that Washington has not yet published this. But we have to be very careful with, speaking to people who may be telling you things that they probably don't even have the authority to tell you. Mm-hmm. Because the way our president works in the United States, he does what he wants to do, right? Mm-hmm. So unless I have somebody saying they have a letter from him personally stating that he is going to revoke this and he's going to suspend it, and there's no way it's going to be suspended without official notice, just like how they have official notice of the list. So I say we give it at least a week to see if the White House publishes something. I don't think that the heads of two Caribbean countries would misrepresent themselves to that extent. I mean, I just don't see how it would make sense, because people can read and people have a brain and people would actually be able to decipher something like that if it's misleading. So I'm thinking probably it's just a situation where, the US has not yet updated their stuff.
Well, let's...
No, I just got the latest there from Tamika Jude on her Facebook page. It reads, I clearly stated that as of now, the U.S. has not yet announced a suspension. When they do, I will make another post. I'm aware of what the prime ministers have said, but as someone who works in the U.S. immigration system, I can tell you that unless the President, Department of State, or Department of Homeland Security posts a policy update, those promises made by our leaders to our leaders will not be upheld. I have several immigration attorneys on my page who can attest to that. Our leaders need to know, or our leaders need to know is to get, our leaders need to do now, what they need to do now is to get the information in writing and ask that the U.S. disseminate an update. Until then, we will operate under the premise that the proclamation is set to move forward as announced. So take note, Mr. Prime Minister, and take note, Mr. Gaston Brown. Before you grandstand, as I just said there, I just read there from the U.S. Attorney, I clearly stated that as of now, the U.S. has not yet, in capital letter, announced a suspension. When they do, I will make another post. Dominica, this is the latest information. We'll talk. We're going to stop for a few minutes with our friends here from Central. We'll come back for your phone call. Stick around.
Not one, not two, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCUL. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointment today, or visit our website, mycccuL.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas!
From all of us at Central.
In the cash. Celebrate 47 years of independence with CCCUL. Get ready for the season with your CCCUL in the cash loan. Borrow up to $10,000 and make your independence dreams come true. In the cash. Use your IndyCar to purchase your World Club Music Festival tickets, spruce up your home and Airbnb, or get your stores and bars ready for the festive season. With IndyCash, monthly payments as low as $90. Yes, $90. Visit mycccuL.com or call 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 today. Celebrate independence the right way with CCCUL IndyCash. IndyCash from CCCUL. Cash in a flash. IndyCash.
Promotion runs from now till November 7th, 2025.
Good morning to our friends here from the CCCUL. Good morning. How are you doing, brother?
Good morning, Matt. Doing good, thanks. Season's greetings.
I'm surprised you guys are not dressed in the red and white. Everything good?
Everything's good, thanks.
Yes. Pleasant good morning to you, Mr. Peltier.
Good morning
Matt,
to you, Don.
And pleasant good morning to your dedicated listeners. For the record, my name is Donald Burton. I am the Credit and Collections Manager of Central Credit Union, the number one financial institution in Dominica. And alongside me is the great Mr. Keon T. Harrigan, our loans officer. Today, Matt, we wanted to talk about 3 important products that Central is now offering. Our super hot Christmas loan, our mortgage solution, and also too as well our vehicle loans. So in the comment segments, we'd want to discuss these 3 important loan products. But also, if time permits, we recognize that too as well, a lot of our persons, a lot of our fellow citizens in our community is now navigating challenging times. And so at Central, we know that is a crucial time in their life. And so we wanted some time to at least discuss and to let our members know how Central can assist them in their difficult times. So, Matt, thank you for allowing us to be here with you today. Unfortunately, our great senator is not in first, but I would want to extend good morning to her too as well. But right now, we are ready to start this beautiful conversation.
All right, well, let's go.
Okay, great. Christmas is the time of the year when you want to upgrade your vehicle, begin that mortgage process, or just knock off your wish list one gift at a time. It is the time of the year that you want to feel like you are making moves to enter the new year or just letting your family have an enjoyable Christmas season. Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited is bringing cheer to members who are about to be homeowners, to those members who want to upgrade their vehicle or purchase their first vehicle, and to those members who want to knock off their wish list. We will make it a December to remember with our mortgage Christmas solution, our Ride with Central this Christmas season promotion, and our very hot festive season loan, all at competitive rates. I think Mr. Burton will now go into the mortgage loan.
Okay, all right, sure, no problem. So we wanted to start off with our mortgage solution. So again, too as well, what we are appealing to our members, Central is the place to be. Central is the number one financial institution on the island. Matt, I've always said that I love history, and Central is the combination of the Portsmouth Cooperative Credit Union back then and St. Alphonsus Cooperative Credit Union. And together they merged into one beautiful institution in 2007 called Central Cooperative Credit Union, a beautiful baby back then. And so I say that to say that Central is the place to be. Central is now offering one super hot product. We all know that Dominica is the best country on earth. And what better to have a piece of that beautiful paradise own in your home? That's what it is. And Central, we are offering a great super rate for all of our members. What is the rate? That rate is as low as 4.75%. Again, 4.75%. And that is per annum on the reducing balance. What does that mean? The interest is calculated on the balance of the loan at the time of payment. That's what reducing balance is all about. And yes, the fun part about all of this is not only for our members, but also to as well for our prospective members. That is what this offer is all about. So, what better place to come down at Central Credit Union to obtain your mortgage loan? So, let's begin by talking about loan protection. The last time I was here, again, I was proud to say that Central has upgraded. Central is now offering free loan protection up to $150,000. Again, $150,000. What does that mean? That means for the first $150,000 of your loan mortgage, this is covered free of charge at Central. What does that mean again? If something, God forbid, were to happen to you or to your guarantor, your co-maker, Central will bring through its credit union $150,000 on your loan. Once your loan is more than that amount, what we advise you to do is to get what you call a private life insurance, which can cover the difference of the loan. And so, God forbid again, if something were to happen, your insurance plus Central Insurance will clear off the entire debt. And so your loved one, your family, your beneficiary, your estate will not be left with a debt. That is critically important. That's what we're saying to our members. This is crucial. And no other financial institution is offering that deal. Having said that too as well, we have taken this thing one step further. We are also to as well ensuring the savings aspect of your loan. The savings aspect of your loan. What does that mean? Central insures the first $50,000 of your savings. So let me just give you a prime example, Matt. I know Senator always used to give you some stick on this. What if your girlfriend left you, used you as a beneficiary to her estate? She left monies equaling 50,000. Matt, let me tell you this much. You can get 50,000 plus an additional 50,000 because of what Central has done. So, and Central is insuring 50,000 of your savings. So if, God forbid, you die, your beneficiary, your estate can get up to $100,000. No other financial institution can boast of this. And that's what we're doing based on our mortgage solution. So that's the difference about Central Credit Union. We're not just a financial institution. We have taken it further. We're not just about lending. We're about building. We're about protecting. And Central is preparing you for what is to come tomorrow. And speaking of preparations, Matt, I also want to implore on our members or prospective members, when you come to a financial institution, the ideal situation is to first consult when you're going to be. That is important. Consult with your loans officer, your financial institution of choice, and that would be Central Cooperative Credit Union, the number one financial institution in Dominica. I'm telling you this because of our experience. We know better. Here's what we're saying to you. When you plan to build, do not come to us with estimates. Do the opposite. Do the flip side. Come and discuss with us what are your plans and your intentions for building. Central will assess your economic well-being, your financial situation, and Central will advise you accordingly. Why? Because after we advise you, we will now pre-approve a mortgage amount for you. So in other words, we will tell you based on your situation what you can afford And when you do that, you can now proudly walk into the room with your negotiators, with those persons that are going to do your estimates, those people that's going to do your plans for you, and you will have a better idea as to what you are about, what you can suggest. That is what Central is all about, giving you the information, and now you will be in a better, more informed position, walking into the room basically with confidence and certainty, and that not all changes the game in terms of mortgages. I just wanted to give people that advice. With building a house, you can only get it right once. You cannot afford to make any errors. And Central is the place to do to better advise you and to inform you. So let me just give you a list as to what it would take for you to build or purchase a property. Guess what? Obviously, you will have to bring in your financial information. That would be a recent employment letter, along with 2 recent SARA statements. You'd also want to bring in an ID. You would want to bring in the approved plans from the planning division, along with a letter of approval from planning division. But having said that, you should have first consulted with Central before you bring those to Central. Also, too, as well, we'll ask you to bring in a costing, a detailed costing from a certified architect or quantity surveyor of your choice. Again, of your choice, because Central does not discriminate against any individual or company. And also, too, as well, depending on the amount of the loan, we'd suggest that you get life insurance for the difference. Earlier on, I alluded to that. Central insures the first $150,000 for all loans. And so if your loan is more, especially your mortgage is more than that, what we'd suggest is that you bring life insurance to cover the difference of the loan. So all of what I just mentioned to you might sound like a long list, but let me assure the listeners that all of this is not about stressing you. What Central wants to do in that situation is to ensure transparency, clarity, and security. And that's the Central way, because Central is here to guide you and to make this transition a smooth, clear, and manageable process. So let's pause for a moment, Matt. I always like to give you that scenario. It is such a beautiful thing to be walking into your home. You have your kids, everybody's excited. You can have your free space, and also too as well, you can have your space where you can entertain your friend. And so that's what owning a piece of Dominica, having your home, creating that opportunity is there. And so Central is here to provide you with that, to make it become a reality for you. The #1 financial institution.
Let's take a break, though. Let's take a break. We'll come right back.
Sure.
Let's stick you around there.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCUL. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 77275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointment today, or visit our website mycccuL.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas
from all of us at Central. Not 1, not 2, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCUL. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointment today, or visit our website, mycccuL.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9th, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas!
From all of us at Central.
Back to you guys.
Yes, Matt. So Mr. Burton just spoke about our mortgage solution. We are now going to transition into our Ride with Central Christmas loan promotion. So we are approaching the month of January. You know you need a better ride. It doesn't have to be brand new. We finance fairly new as well. We would really like you to ride through 2026 and beyond with Central with our unbeatable 7.99% interest rate on vehicle loans. We'll work with you. We understand that each case is different. Make an appointment to come and see us today. Vehicles should be 10 years or younger. The members and prospective members out there might be thinking, what do they need in order to apply for a vehicle loan? I'm just going to give them the list right now. Your two most, well, this is assuming you are a salaried person. So your two most recent salary slips, a recent employment letter, a nationally issued ID. You would need to purchase shares as part of the loan, credit reports, letter of intent to sell, a mechanical assessment report of the vehicle. If the vehicle is already registered, we would need registration information from the Inland Revenue Division, a full comprehensive insurance quote. And if you are ordering a vehicle online, as some of us do at this point in time, we would want pictures and, of course, insurance and freight quote. For our self-employed persons, we would require documents related to your business. We would also want bank statements, credit reports, and then to facilitate payments to the CCCUL, we would ask you to do a standing order. If there's anything that you are unsure about, you can please call us to make an appointment. You can call us at 275-5902 or 275-2891. We are also online. Appointments can be made via our website, myccul.com.
Let me just ask a question on behalf of our listener here. Good morning, Matt. Ask him or ask the guys here if I can transfer my loan from a bank to Central.
Yes,
Of course.
yes, Matt. Sorry. So for our loans, once the member or the prospective member is a member, that's the critical part. Once you are a member of Central Credit Union, you can apply for a loan at Central. And if the person is not a member, we just advise you to open the account with us. It's only $65 to open the account. And as soon as you open the account, there is no waiting period. You can apply immediately for a loan at Central, including for us to take over your mortgage.
You can take over so you can transfer the loan from the bank to Central. I think that's a question, yes?
Yes, most definitely.
Once you're a member.
Once you're a member.
Okay.
So all all loan requests are for our members. So that's the critical part. If you're not a member, we will always advise you to open the account with us and become a member with the number one financial institution of choice, that is Central Credit Union.
All right, so let's continue.
Yes. So, Matt, I wanted to also add to what Mr. Harrigan was saying. So, for all our mortgages and for our vehicle loans, we are happily telling persons we are promoting these loans. These loans will be part of our products and services forever. But we also have this promotion where we end January 9th. So, for the first 10 persons we do mortgages or vehicles for, we are giving them vouchers of up to $500. $500. That's a super deal. So we're saying to everyone to come in, apply for your mortgages and for your vehicles. But Matt, I also want to touch on this super hot loan product we have been offering at Central. And this is really and truly our Christmas loan. That loan stemmed from our previous loan, which was our IndyCash. That loan became world famous, our IndyCash. And so what we did a replica of our IndyCash, which is now our Christmas loans. Here's the thing about this loan. Central is offering you up to $10,000. $10,000 without having any security. You only need to have the account with us and only need to have 5% savings security. In terms of the payments, you can beat the payments. Payment is as low as $90. $90. The $90 is if you apply for the minimum of $1,000, you will only repay $90. If you apply for the maximum of $10,000, you will pay $265. So Central is saying to you, whatever your needs, just come into Central to apply for the loan. That particular loan, as I said, is a loan that carried across from our IndyCash. We're calling it right now our Christmas loan. But that loan, really and truly, it's unbeatable.
Unbeatable?
Right. Unbeatable. That loan is flexible. You can use that loan to buy your ham and turkey. I know it's the festive period right now.
That's a lot of ham and turkey there.
You can buy a lot of things. We know the cost of living is going up, but
right.
you need the funds. You can use that to meet debt payments. If you want to purchase a vehicle, maybe a used vehicles, or if you want to purchase gifts for maybe your family and friends, Matt. I know you have lots of friends out there. So that's what this loan product is all about. And again, as I said, you can't beat this because you have a very flexible installment of $90. Again, too, as well, I must stress on that point, the interest rate is on the reducing balance. I stress what is reducing balance. Reducing balance means that the interest is calculated on the balance of the loan at the time of payment. So don't let the other financial institutions trap you with their flat rate. I must caution you. They trap you with their flat rate and you go for it. But at Central, we are direct, we are honest, we are open to our members. Our interest rate is on the reducing balance, and that's fundamental. And all the loans we talked about is insured free of charge to our members. And not only that, Matt, we are not only insuring the loans, I must stress we are insuring the savings too as well, part of it. And no other financial institution can beat that. So with our Christmas loan, here's what you need to do. Again, it's open for all our members. You call, you set up an appointment. We expect you to bring in these documents. That would be your employment letter, your 2 recent salary slips. For those self-employed persons, normally we ask you for bank activity reports along with your bank details or particulars. So it's open for both the salaried persons and those persons too as well that are self-employed too as well. And if you are ready and interested, you can call us. The number is 275-5902. So that's at the Goodwill branch, or 275-2891 at the Portsmouth branch. Or those persons that like to play with their tablets or their phones, you can just visit us online. And to do so, go on to mycccul.com. Again, our website address is mycccul.com and book your appointment today. So as I said to you, the Christmas loan is going to end January 9th. I don't know why I'm heading behind, but it's January 9th, 2026. You do not have much time. Our mortgage and vehicle loans will continue. However, for the first 10 mortgages and vehicle loans for the season, we are giving you $500. Central Credit Union is the #1 financial institution of choice. And everyone, you must be part of this beautiful family.
Let me take a break. Come back.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCUL. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointment today, or visit our website, mycccul.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas
from all of us at Central.
All right, Dominica, we're here 9:38 in the morning. We're here with CCCUL, And this good morning to you, Lauren. I know you're listening quite attentively this morning. Stick around.
Not one, not two, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCUL. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointment today, or visit our website myccccul.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9th, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas
from all of us at Central.
All right, back to you guys to wrap it up this morning. There was Central. Back to you.
Yes, Matt. So as we close, we just wanted to speak to those persons who have now been encountering financial difficulties. What we realize in our beautiful country right now, there seems to be people losing their jobs. There seems to be mass migration happening too as well. People on the whole just experiencing hard economic times. And so what we are saying to them is that you tell us about what you are doing. Tell us about your situation, and so we can better advise you. Because in any given situation, Central will find a solution to your problem. That's why we are the #1 financial institution. So don't just go away. Don't just neglect your loans because the loan is there. It is there, and so what we say to you is speak to us. We will understand your situation and better advise you on that. So come to us, speak to our delinquency team, or head of our team, Mrs. Smith. Pleasant good morning to you. We also have Mr. Ostry from the Goodwill branch, and also to as well Mr. Bindo from the Portsmouth branch. Pleasant good morning to you. These people have a lot of wisdom, well experienced, and they can better advise you. So don't be afraid, because remember, life has all of its challenges and its problems, but we just have to find ways to deal with those problems, and Central is the best place. And Mr. Peltier, I don't know if Mr. Harrigan had anything to say on this.
I'm sure you want to tell us season greetings at this time.
Yes. Just to add to what Mr. Button was saying, we very much understand that our members can go through extremely difficult financial situations, but the most critical thing is to apprise your credit union of that. Allow us to understand exactly the situation that you're going through, so we can tailor a solution to alleviate the situation. And that just goes back to what the credit union movement it's about. It's about people helping people. It's about hearts and hands. So if you allow us to know or to understand what the situation is, we can better assist you. So don't go through the financial struggles or the pressures alone. Don't bottle things inside. Please tell us about it, whether it's your loans officer, whether it's a member of our delinquency team, so we can properly respond to your situation. Because the quicker we can respond and provide a solution, the quicker you can have that financial peace of mind to get back on your feet, whether it's to re-engage yourself in terms of employment, or to finding something constructive to do in the meantime whilst you look for employment. Allow us to remove those burdens off you, because if you don't tell us, you might make it a bit worse for yourself, and that would not be to your benefit.
And Matt, as we just, I thank you, Mr. Harrigan, and as we just conclude here today, I also wanted to extend my deepest gratitude to you, because you have always been warm and kind to us at Central Credit Union. You know for a fact that Central is #1. That's why you are part of Central too as well. Who knows, you might just be alongside Mrs. Reed in the coming year to promote the #1 financial institution. But really and truly, I must say, thank you to you, to extend our gratitude.
I'm asking Mrs. Reed, you want me to join you at Central?
We have talked about so many important things, life events, and
You know.
And we have talked about our vehicle loans, our mortgages.
Has she changed?
Christmas. Huh?
Has she changed the vehicle yet?
No, unfortunately, Matt.
I thought that would be a Christmas present.
Matt, I have to tell you this, but I actually missed a call on Saturday, and Matt, I was very concerned. I only saw a missed call today, and I was concerned because I know for a fact that she has not changed the vehicle as yet. So I was kind of concerned. I was wondering, and when I saw this morning, I was so thrilled.
I thought you'd deliver the cake on the new vehicle. I was looking forward to that.
Well, as usual, Mrs. Reid, she makes promises, but I think in 2026 she has to deliver. She has to deliver, Matt, to me and to you and to everyone.
Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure this morning. Let's do it again sometime.
It was always a pleasure.
In the new year.
And I wish you the best.
Thank
you.
you.
Your family for the season and beyond, Matt. You're a great person.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Not one, not two, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCU Well. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointments today, or visit our website, mycccuwell.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas!
From all of us.
This Christmas, it's all about real connections and real rewards with Digicel. Sign up for the fast, reliable home internet this Christmas. And here's the best part: when you sign up, you're in to win amazing prizes this Christmas. We're talking smart TVs, smart appliances, shopping vouchers, smartphones, turkeys, and more. So don't wait. Get connected today and feel the magic of a truly connected Christmas. Digicel home internet. Real connections, real rewards. Better connected with this Christmas.
Sunrise Airways is connecting the OECX fly to and from Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, and Antigua with seamless onward connections. Enjoy competitive fares and the best in travel. Book now at sunriseairways.net or with your travel agent. Sunrise Airways, One Caribbean. We fly to connect people. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sunrise Airways.
Creole Hamlet in collaboration with title partners TBS Radio, began to Financial Express, the Dominica Lotteries Commission, Going Global Entertainment, and the Sandman present the 2025 Dominica Music Awards, Saturday, January 3rd, 2026 at the Intercontinental Hotel, 6 p.m. The Royal Red Carpet entrance. Other partners include the Sandman Canislips Artist of the Year, Texia New Artist of the Year, SCS New India Assurance, Calypso Artist of the Year, Nature Island Press Production, Gospel Artist of the Year, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited Band of the Year, Do It Center Social Media Influencer of the Year, the Republic Bank Photographer of the Year, KFC Junior Male and Female Artist of the Year, Courts Male Artist of the Year, Bob and Sarah Songwriter of the Year, Rainbow Hill Villa Zuccob Artist of the Year, Joshua Francis Album of the Year. Platinum partners include Q95 FM, NCCU Fine Foods Inc., and more. Other partners include TNO, Dr. Timmy and Dublin, Telnaji Sports, Variety News Group, Multi Solutions Inc., and more. The 2025 Dominica Music Awards, January 3, 2026, Intercontinental Hotel.
Not one, not two, but 3 dynamic Christmas loans just for you.
Central welcomes you to a December to remember.
Christmas Mortgage Solution. Radu Central Christmas Vehicle Loan. CCCU Well. Festive Season Loan. All at low monthly payments. Affordable interest rates per month. 3 amazing loans just for you. Let's make this December one you'll remember. Call our loans department at 767-275-5902 or 767-275-2891 to make your appointments today, or visit our website, mycccuL.com. Promotion runs from now to January 9, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas!
From all of us at
Sunrise Airways is connecting the OECX. Fly to and from Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, and Antigua with seamless onward connections. Enjoy competitive fares and the best in travel. Book now at sunriseairways.net or with your travel agent. Sunrise Airways, One Caribbean. We fly to connect people. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sunrise Airways.
Tis the season for giving and winning at ESA Trading Limited. This Christmas, we're making your holiday shopping merrier and brighter. From December 1st to December 23rd, 2025, spend $50 or more and get a chance to win $100 gift voucher every week. That's 9 lucky winners in total. 3 winners every Tuesday, December 9th, December 16th, and December 23rd. Drawn live in-store and on Facebook. And that's not all. Senior Citizens Wednesdays. If you're 60 and over, enjoy 15% off on December 3rd, December 10th, and December 17th. Mark this dates down. Double Points Thursday. Shop on December 4th, December 11th, and December 18th and earn double your reward points. Super Sunday, December 14th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also December 21st, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Massive discounts, 5% off at ESA Trading when you spend $100. 10% off at ESA Trading when you spend $150. 15% off at ESA Trading. Spend $200 or more. Don't miss out at ESA Trading. Shop more, save more, and celebrate more this Christmas. Visit us today at ESA Trading. Make this season merry and rewarding. Only at ESA Trading.
Wow, a new laptop.
Yep.
How much you pay?
Only $10. This Christmas, sign up for any home bundle or the Tobo 400 internet plan or higher and get a laptop or tablet for only $10. And there's more. You can win even more festive prizes with our Christmas Spin the Wheel. That's faster, more reliable internet with same upload and download speeds and fantastic rewards. Sign up in-store today or visit online at discoverflow.co for more info. We keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas with Beep. Buy $15 in any Beep product for your chance to win a $1,500 do-it-center shopping spree. To enter, just write your name and contact number on the back of your receipt and drop it in entry boxes provided, or WhatsApp a photo of your receipt and contact number to 616-8810. But hurry, entries close on December 19th. Unwrap the magic of Christmas with Beep for a happy, healthy home. Distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
Oh Lord, visa gone, struggle getting real. USA shut the door, tell me how we supposed to feel. Government messing up, people paying the price. Time to rise up now, time to make things right. Visa gone, see the pressure upon we face. All the plans we had seem not a place, but we strong. We go stand up as one. From Dominica to the world, we still go carry on. Trump say no more, visa done. Government failed, all the trust is gone. We feeling the pain.
The issue continues to be
Dominica suffering, we need a better plan. Families cry.
one that needs to be clarified, huh?
Story of the youth never fully told. We used to fly, look, work, try, strive. Now the same small rock, having all we survive. But we can't just ball, can't just complain.
Talk of the proclamation being suspended.
We still go find the key. Start fixing home, start fixing we. Visa gone, we can't travel no more. Government fails, close up the door. Trump say no, and we feeling the pain. Time to fix we all, make it right again. Visa gone, but the spirit still strong.
As we shared a few minutes ago before we had the Central Credit Union from Tamika Jude, called Tika. Afterward, on the weekend from both Prime Minister Carrington, Gaston Brown and his ambassador, she says, I clearly state as of now that the U.S. has not yet announced a suspension. When they do, I will make another pause. I'm aware of what the prime ministers have said, but as someone who works in the U.S. immigration system, I can tell you that unless the President, Department of State, or Department of Homeland Security posts a policies update, those promises made to our leaders will not be upheld. I have several immigration attorneys on my page and can attest to that. Our leaders what they need to do now is to get information in writing and ask the U.S. to disseminate an update. Until then, we will operate under the premise that the proclamation is set to move forward as announced. On the line with me, of course, to talk about that and more, a seasoned diplomat,
turn Dominica to a brand new start. Eco culture, music, sea and sun.
Mr. Gregor.
No more waiting for
Good morning to you, sir. How you doing?
Good morning, Matt. Good morning to all your listeners.
And season greetings to you, sir. How you doing?
Season greetings to you and all of Dominica.
Well, a lot of issues, of course, to explore this morning, and looking for updates all the time. We hear of this ongoing pending war between Venezuela, or the U.S. and Venezuela. We're also hearing about a change of mind, as stated by our governments in the region, Antigua and Dominica, that there has been a change as it relates to proclamation. What can you update us at this? Let's start off now with the visa. What can you tell us? Have you heard anything about the change?
No, Matt, I have not heard about any change. I was quite interested to hear that prime ministers of the two countries are giving a sense that the proclamation has been suspended in their favor. I have not seen any documentation to that. Of course, this happened on the weekend. These prime ministers were talking on the weekend, so it will be interesting to hear from the State Department and the White House this morning whether there has been any change. But from reading the proclamation, it is very clear that this action is not speaking about people who already have visas. If you already have a U.S. visa, you can travel to the U.S. Of course, there are risks because we don't know what will happen at the border post and how the immigration officer will ask you more questions than before. And they can determine, even though you have a visa, not to let you enter. The visa doesn't guarantee entry.
True.
So I'm kind of amused to hear that President Trump's there's a suspension of the proclamation as it relates to Dominica and Antigua and Barbuda. But I don't want to say anything adverse to what the prime ministers have said. I just want to be able to verify for myself and for the Dominican people in particular what is the reality of this situation. All that I know, Matt, is that as of January 1st, and that's coming up very, very soon, in 9 days, that visas for Dominican nationals have been suspended. the U.S. is not going to approve any new visas from January 1st going forward until such time that they are satisfied that Dominica is meeting their concern. Of course, you know, Matt, how did we get there with the visas? It's the U.S. is simply following what is happening by the UK and Europe as far as Dominica's passports are concerned. The CBI, which some people have said, if not CBI, tell me what. Well, the CBI has landed us into a serious crisis so that our Dominican nationals who aspire to get visas to come to the U.S., that option is closed right now, Matt, as of the 1st of January. And I exhort the government of Dominica to tell us more. We're hearing a lot from Antigua, but we're not hearing anything about the Dominica ambassador in Washington. He seems to be not talking. So that's a concern, whereas Antigua is taking a forward movement. But I'll tell you, as of now, Matt, I cannot underscore that any suspension has happened in the last couple of days.
You are a seasoned diplomat, sir. What to you? What are you telling yourself? Why do you think? A lot of reasons have been given as to why we have been imposed with some visa restrictions. What are you telling yourself? Or would you say that the government have not listened over the years when people had many concerns?
They have not, Matt. In fact, Dominica, that CBI program has a lot of deficiencies. The government of Dominica knows that. And one of the deficiencies that the State Department raised with them in March is that there are a number of passports that have been issued by Dominica in fake names. That's a real serious security breach right here. The second thing, Matt, is that there are a lot of people who are holding these Dominican passports who are deemed security threats. The U.S. mentioned 4 people in the last 6 weeks who have Dominican passports. And then there are a lot of people from various groups that have these passports. Like I was told recently, if you take a country called Kurdistan, well, it's not a country. They're part of Iraq, but it's a kind of a semi-autonomous region, Kurdistan. That everybody in the government of Kurdistan has a Dominica passport.
Really?
As well.
Wow.
Yes. I was really shocked by that. And that includes even the Minister Barzani of Kurdistan. Now, it's a semi-autonomous region located close to Turkey, but it's part of Iraqi territory. And all of these government officials, they have Dominica passports. Then you have people from Afghanistan with Dominica passports. You have a lot of people with Dominica passports that are questionable. And that raised a red flag many years. I mean, I remember Lennox Linton in his various inquiries about these holders of passports. He raised a lot of concerns. And these things are coming to roost right now, Matt. That's the reality of it. I would say in a larger context, the U.S. administration is opposed to the CBI. And their envoy, Mr. Grinnell, who was Latin America envoy of the White House, he said that as early as February, that these CBI programs must go. And if the governments don't want to address that, then they will face the ultimate sanction. And now what has happened, the U.S. has implemented a visa requirement, or they have suspended the approval of visas for Dominican nationals. That's a serious situation, Matt. In our entire 46 years of independence, we have never faced that kind of scrutiny from the White House of the United States.
But first it was Canada, then the UK, and now the US. You know, it's sending some serious messages across the world.
And Matt, there are two other countries I should mention. First, Ireland, after the UK, Ireland, which is a member of the Schengen region. And last week, Norway. The government of Norway has now put some sanctions on our passports. So visa-free entry is on its way to its funeral for Dominican nationals, for holders of Dominican passports. Now, that is not the natural-born Dominicans who created the problem. It is these CBI economic citizens that have created the problem for Dominica. So we have to ask ourselves now, if not CBI, tell us what, because CBI is on its deathbed.
But again, let's move on. This and I was looking for, but how do we get out of that hole there, Ambassador? How do we get out of that hole? Dominica seems to be on the blacklist for several countries. Now US, we had Canada, we had the UK, you mentioned Norway and some other countries. So if not CBI, I'm asking you the question, then what? Where do we turn to?
Well, Matt, I think what's going to happen soon is the various countries in the Schengen area that give us visa-free entry into Europe. In September, the European Parliament passed a law that allowed countries to decide if they will follow strictly visa-free entry. So what you're seeing now is that various countries are now dealing in their national interest. They're retreating from the original framework of visa-free entry into Schengen, which has 27 European countries. So some of them have already begun to put visa requirements on Dominican passport holders. And Matt, I'll tell you, many of these people who traffic through Europe on Dominican passports, the majority of them were not born in Dominica. They bought their passports. And so they're in a different category. And sadly, our natural-born Dominicans are now being punished for the actions of people who are not natural-born Dominicans. And that's a rather unfortunate situation.
But my question to you is, sir, how do we get out of that hole at this time? We're looking solution-oriented because, Dominica was never like that. How do we get out of that hole? Are you there? Yeah?
Getting out of that hole will require a concerted effort by the government to keep talking with Europe, keep talking with the UK, keep talking with Canada, and see if there can be a change of policy towards Dominican passport holders. However, I think that these countries will want an end to the CBI. And so that is going to be a hard pill to swallow. And the fact is that over the years, we've not developed our economy to an extent that we can take that shock. The shock of the CBI passport no longer becoming something that will generate income and stability and security for Dominica, that era seems to be coming to an end, Matt. And I think the government has the responsibility to.
So you're saying ending the CBI will end the saga that we're now experiencing, the CBI program?
I don't know if it will end the saga completely, Matt, but I will say that many countries are looking at that passport, that Dominica Economic Citizenship passport, and saying, wait a minute, we don't think that we're going to embrace these passports anymore. And we're beginning to see that movement happening right in the European region. And now the US has completely stopped issuing any visas to Dominican nationals. So that is where the CBI has put us.
The other troubling issue there, Crispin, as it relates to the Caribbean region, is this pending war between Venezuela, the U.S. and Venezuela. I'm now hearing that Russia may want to get involved. Can you tell us, give us an update as to what is going on there? I heard just this week another, tanker was seized by the U.S. What's the latest on what we're hearing there?
Yes. Mark, well, as of Wednesday last week, the U.S. seized a tanker, a very large Venezuelan tanker carrying oil. And then on Saturday, the U.S. tried to intercept an oil tanker linked to Venezuela. It's called the Bella One. It was en route to Venezuela to pick up oil. It was empty, but it wasn't carrying any cargo. But the U.S. kind of got it to leave. So it didn't go to Venezuela. It kind of just went back into the Atlantic. And President Trump has now said that he's going to seize any tankers that are on the sanctions list. So there are a list of tankers that has been determined by the U.S. as evading sanctions, and now the U.S. is now naming them, and they're consistently moving to seize them. So this third boat, it got away, but the U.S. is very focused right now. There is a semi-blockade in the coast of Venezuela. And it's worrying, Matt, because what that means, Venezuelan oil might well be seized anytime it leaves their shores. And President Trump has said they're just going to take it. Now, that's kind of worrying that the United States will just want to take the natural resources of any country, Venezuela in particular at this time. But I don't think that, even though Venezuela said that they have raised it to the Security Council, and maybe today there'll be a meeting at the Security Council on Venezuela's complaint. But which country in the Security Council is going to tell the U.S. that they can do whatever they want? The U.S. will just simply veto any kind of discussion about that. So let's see what happens in the Security Council. But I think that what we're seeing is a growing escalation. Now, I should mention, before I get to the Russia part, I wanted to mention that the U.S. is, the American public is not so supportive of an intervention in Venezuela. From the polling that I have seen, the majority of Americans are saying, no, they don't really want a war with Venezuela. The administration is focused, they're not paying attention to what the popular opinion is, and they're moving. However, they have not gotten the authorization to go to war. I think, as I had mentioned in previous interview with you, Mark, the President Trump is trying to avoid having to go to Congress to seek authorization for war. And that is why one has to pay attention to the terminology that is being used. If once the U.S. determines that you're an enemy combatant and that you're a terrorist, there will be no need for them to go to Congress to pursue you and to have a war. We had a similar situation in Iraq with Saddam Hussein. So once the U.S. designates you a terrorist or an enemy combatant, there is no provision requiring the President of the United States to commit troops abroad based on approval by authorization, rather, by the Congress. So I think the President will pursue continued escalation with Venezuela, which will eventually lead to a physical conflict. Now, what we don't know is whether the U.S. will put troops on Venezuela. There's that possibility. Or they might just decide from the ships that's in the waters do airstrikes on Venezuela and not put U.S. troops. Because Americans don't like their troops dying in war. So they'll be extremely careful about putting troops on the ground. But we should not rule that out. Now, as far as Russia is concerned, Matt, and you raised that concern. Well, I said from the time we've been talking about Venezuela since October, Matt, I mentioned that there are other powers involved, that this thing was larger. This conflict is larger than just Venezuela. And it's becoming clearer and clearer to us, the involvement of the Russians and the reaction that the U.S., how the U.S. is reacting to Russia's presence in Venezuela. Of course, how did that start? It is when the very Trump administration in its first term in office, put serious sanctions on Venezuela, and Venezuela couldn't buy spare parts for the oil industry. They couldn't buy weapons. They couldn't. They were limited in what they could do without Russian assistance. So both Russia and China have helped Venezuela to circumvent the sanctions and soften the impact of the sanctions. And Matt, one of the things that has happened in that whole process is that Venezuela has been trading with China and Russia, not using U.S. dollars. They're actually doing trade, whether it's in weapons or whether it's in spare parts or whatever technologies they're getting from China. They're actually doing the trade in the currency of China and Russia. So they have found a way to survive the sanctions. And the U.S. wants to end that. Now, Russia has been a major supplier of weaponry to Venezuela. And there's concern that some of these missiles that Venezuela has procured from the Russians could be used against American ships and American troops. And that would lead to a serious escalation of the war, of a conflict between Venezuela and the U.S. And of course, Russia will be involved. There is also talk that there are Russian advisors in Venezuela as we speak. So the Russian aspect of this conflict is real. We don't know as much about the Chinese, though, but they're there as well, and we don't know what kind of military hardware they have provided the Venezuelans. But I have seen that in the last few years, the Venezuelan military and the Chinese military have done joint exercises in Venezuela. So that's another dimension. The Russians have been doing that for a while. They've been training Venezuelan troops. They have done maneuvers with Venezuelan troops.
But somebody's suggesting here that Russia is exhausted from the war in Ukraine. They can't help Maduro anymore. Do you believe that?
Well, yes, they are bogged down in the war in Ukraine, but that doesn't mean that their presence in the Caribbean is not real. It is real. They're there, and they're supplying weaponry to Venezuela. So they have become Venezuela's largest supplier of weapons, and that continues to this day, Matt.
But my major concern, though, I haven't heard Caribbean leaders speaking to this pending war between America and Venezuela. It's almost like they're silent, saying nothing, because there will be, as you've said before, repercussions for the Caribbean region. We have to get ready for this.
Yes. Well, Matt, I am beginning to see some things that are beginning to concern me, and one of them is that the impact on tourism. You know, our region is completely dependent on tourism for income, and Dominica has allowed its economy to become more focused on tourism than agriculture or industrial development. first of all, we're going to see a reduction in the number of flights from North America into the region as this situation escalates.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to see less maritime activities for some time when this thing escalates. And I think we are heading to escalation as we move into the new year. Between now and the end of the year, I expect we will see more things happen that we have not seen yet. The Caribbean governments are being very careful. They don't want to anger the United States or President Trump. So they're being very cautious. But one of the things that's happening is that a sort of like a split in the CARICOM. You have Trinidad and Tobago, which has decided to opt out of any kind of regional kind of approach to how it relates to the United States. And then you also have closely aligned to them is Guyana. Guyana has a special relationship with the U.S. and has now been determined as a very important country to U.S. national interests because of its oil and other resources like gold and other minerals that they have. So the Guyanese are playing a very cautious approach to how they relate to the U.S. The other countries are not talking. They're keeping very quiet and watching over their shoulders because everybody's wondering who is next.
As a matter of fact, we just got a statement there on the weekend from Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who basically said she's not aligning herself with CARICOM because a lot of Caribbean governments, including Dominica and Antigua, are aligning themselves with the government of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. So yes, she says, I'm not for this dictatorship, narco government taking place in Venezuela. So she's aligning Dominica and Antigua and some other countries, with Nicolas Maduro, and she's saying, I'm not in this. I'm not in this.
Right. Well, Matt, if we go back, remember both Trinidad and Barbados were never involved in ALBA. In fact, the only CARICOM countries that were involved with ALBA are the OECS countries. Everybody else has kept a distance, and Trinidad and Barbados did not even participate in Petrocaribe. So they have taken a posture of not getting too cozy with Venezuela over the years, even under Prime Minister Rowley. So I can understand the direction that Trinidad is taking and the posture they are taking now, because they are the country that's closest to Venezuela in terms of distance, and they have had the adverse impact of the drugs into Trinidad, and also the violence that comes with cocaine trafficking. Trinidad has suffered quite a bit, so one can't fault them for taking their interests first. Now, let me say something about CARICOM. CARICOM has had a lot of, joint kind of foreign policy approaches. It has not always worked. But I know, for example, on the sustainable development issues, CARICOM has been united. But on the questions of relating to U.S. and other powers and Cuba, CARICOM has had its own set of problems with that. We don't have a harmonized foreign policy of CARICOM. Every country actually decides its own foreign policy first. I mean, you look at, just to give you an example, there are some countries that support Morocco and their occupation of Western Sahara. Not all the Caribbean countries support that. It's only the OECS countries and Suriname who support that. And such a retrogressive step anyway for countries that were former colonies not to support the independence of this one country in Africa that that still needs to have its independence. So there's not a united foreign policy mechanism in CARICOM. They choose to cooperate when it's in their vital interest. But when it comes to their core interests, like Trinidad is now saying what its core interest is, they will depart from any kind of British consensus with CARICOM. And I expect to see more of that as we go forward. So, Matt, with the Russian presence in Venezuela, it's a real Russian presence is there and it's not stopping. I just hope that we don't have submarine wars between Russia and the U.S. because the Russian submarines have visited Venezuela many times. And who knows, they might still be there. And that is why the U.S. has in its arsenal nuclear submarines to fight whoever comes with that kind of weaponry in the region.
But something to watch very closely. Again, we'll call you sometime soon. In terms of timeliness or timelines, do you expect them to attack Venezuela soon, Crispin?
Well, I'm not in the military planning business so much. I have no idea what the U.S. is planning to do next. But I believe that before the end of the year, we will see some action. Whether it's seizing more ships, it's President Trump. He said something on the weekend which concerns me, and he says that he's gonna. Well, it's not him. It's actually the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. She said that President Trump wants Maduro to scream "Uncle Trump, Uncle Donald," because Trump is gonna squeeze him until he says, "Help me, Uncle Donald." So we're going to see some real pressure on the Maduro regime going forward.
Crispin Gregoire, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Of course, I got a voice note there from another Dominican in the diaspora, Mr. Gabriel Christian. He has a voice note on the ongoing issue there.
Betrayal of a nation. Dominica stands at a call for a new day in Dominica. In the aftermath of international sanctions and the betrayal of a nation, Dominica stands at a grave and historic crossroads. The White House proclamation restricting travel by Dominicans following the United Kingdom's rescission of visa-free access in July 2023 and mounting European Union pressure is not an accident of geopolitics. It is the bitter harvest of years of lawlessness, institutional decay, and the reckless commodification of Dominican citizenship. These sanctions do not fall upon the guilty alone. They fall upon students, families, business people, church leaders, nurses, farmers, and our diaspora children, people who committed no crime except loving their country. This is a national humiliation we did not choose, a government that abandoned its oath. Under the prolonged rule of E, the people of Dominica have witnessed what can only be described as the systematic hollowing out of the republic. By word and by deed, the Skerrit regime has undermined the Constitution he swore to protect, politicized the police service and degraded its professionalism, compromised the diplomatic corps, appointing individuals whose conduct has brought shame rather than honor, subverted financial controls, procurement laws, and environmental protections. Weaponized institutions meant to safeguard democracy, not persecute dissent. When a leader declares publicly that no law, no constitution can prevent me from running for election, he announces contempt not only for law, but for the people themselves. When public funds are alleged, by sworn testimony, to be placed beyond parliamentary scrutiny, trust collapses. When major national contracts are awarded without transparency or tender, corruption ceases to be incidental. It becomes structural. When environmental laws are brushed aside in pursuit of opaque megaprojects, the land itself is betrayed. Silence in the face of bloodshed. As violence escalates in communities once known for peace and neighborliness, where is the call for a national anti-crime summit? Where is the unifying moral leadership? There is none, because meaningful scrutiny would require those in power to submit themselves to the same standards they impose on others. Instead, we have distraction, deflection, division, A nation turned against itself. This ruinous governance has turned brother against brother, politicized families, friendships, and churches, reduced agriculture to a coma and industry to a grave, encouraged a culture where loyalty to one man is prized above loyalty to country. This is not leadership. It is national suffocation. This is a moral crisis. When a government abandons constitutional restraint, dismantles accountability, and places the nation's good name at the service of shadowy foreign interests, the people have not only a right, but a duty to speak. History teaches us that nations are not destroyed overnight. They are eroded slowly by silence, fear, and false comforts. A call to awakening. Rise up, fallen fighters for Dominica. Rise and take your stand again. Do not be pacified by Bacchanal while your birthright is mortgaged. Do not trade conscience for rum, dope, or a seasonal handout. Do not allow morality to be dulled by a stale turkey or Christmas ham. Our ancestors built this nation on dignity, self-respect, and honest labor, not on the sale of passports or the laundering of reputations. Why should innocent Dominicans pay? Why should a young Dominican be denied travel or study abroad for crimes allegedly committed by a den of elites with mansions, offshore accounts, and luxury hotels? Why should the poor suffer sanctions while the powerful shelter wealth abroad? This injustice cannot stand. Let us begin again. Let us remove the rot at the top. Peacefully, constitutionally, decisively. Let us restore the rule of law, professional institutions, and international trust. Let us rebuild a Dominica worthy of its people and respected by the world. A better Dominica is possible, but it requires courage, it requires truth, and it requires that we choose country over cult, law over lawlessness, and future over fear. The time is now.
Getting real, USA shut the door. Tell me how we supposed to feel. Government messing up, people paying the price. Time to rise up,
Attorney at law,
make things right.
Gabriel Christian,
Pressure upon we face. All the plans we have. See me not up.
calling on the people to rise.
Because I know past one from Dominica to the world we still go carry on.
We'll take your phone calls. I know you've been waiting to call, right? 449-3095, 449-3096, 976164-257.
Families crying, dreams get put on hold. Story of the youth never fully told. We used to fly, look, work, try, strive. Now the same small rock, having all we survive. But we can't just ball, can't just complain. Time to build we own, break out of the chain. With the door locked, we still go find the key. Start fixing home, start fixing we. Visa gone, we can't travel no more. Government failures, close up the door. Trump say no.
What advice would you have for the government at this time? You know, people say step down.
But the spirit still
I
strong.
get a lot of WhatsApp messages encouraging or saying that the government should step down over this crisis. I guess it depends on who you talk to, right? On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
To you, your listeners at home and abroad,
Good morning to you, sir.
and season's greetings to you and all your listeners in Dominican and overseas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. First of all, on the issue with Trinidad, Kamala Prasad Bissessa, I've spoken to a few of my friends in Trinidad, including Anil Roberts, and what they're saying is no joking matter what happened to Trinidad, in the sense that a lot of the Venezuelans are going to Trinidad for rescue, and it puts a pressure on their health, education, and social services, and it's a pressure on them there, and their whole mandate of the government is to cater for the people of Trinidad. Now, they cannot turn the people away and send them back to Venezuela because they are, leaving Venezuela as refuge, looking for survival. It's like you have a woman in a house and a man beating her, and she comes to you for rescue, and you send her back to the house to face her death. So while they cannot send them back, it is a pressure on them, and the best way they think that can resolve, and they can have an ease up on that, is for Venezuela to fix up, democracy to return, respectable governance to return to Venezuela. The people of Venezuela can continue to live their lives in the country peacefully and progressively. So that's a big issue that they're facing. So it's not any joking matter when people criticize Prime Minister Kamala Bissessa and the government. They are facing the wrath of the people of Venezuela coming for survival in Trinidad, and that's where they are really supporting an effort for this matter in Venezuela to be resolved.
But why would somebody's asking though, why would Kamala Prasad Bissessa accuse CARICOM of aligning itself with the government of Venezuela and describing it as a dictator presiding over a narco government. And of course, she's attacking our government, Mr. Rosa Skerrit and others in the Caribbean. Would you agree with that?
Well, Matt, if you look at it closely, these leaders in CARICOM has really abandoned the spirit of CARICOM and even the OECS. And I remember before they take collective action, they discuss and take collective action on matters affecting the region. Even when the prime ministers would have gone to Europe and North America, they go there collectively, and one leader could represent the whole region anywhere in the world on any issue because they worked together and they understood, even though they were in different political parties and so on, they understood the mission that CARICOM and the OECS would have set. These leaders are almost like, if you like, a boys' club and a girls' club, talking rubbish and so forth. Even when they come to your country to address their sister party convention, they take swipe at the opposition, and that never happened before. They would come and speak across CARICOM issues and issues affecting trade and issues affecting investment and job creation, how they can bind together to work as a unit, as a region to solve problems. But now they're coming to create problems. So therefore, they look for dictators who give them monies to run election, to buy election, to buy votes, and to stay in office. They're not about development, they're about staying in office and so forth. And if you notice, the people of St. Vincent have waked up after 24 years. In Dominica, you see, we hear the same thing over and over. If you read the budgets that we have passed over the last 20 or so years in this country, it's just a repetition of the same thing, just change of dates and change of a few areas here and there. And then they come the same old statement and nothing happened. The financial year ends, nothing much happened in the country and so forth. Because for where we are with certain passport and all these things, we should be way, way better off. I mean, if you look at St. Kitts, they use their passport resources a little better than we do in Dominica. The Freedom Party started that program. It was what you call the economic citizenship program. And the idea was to create jobs, bring foreign exchange and, business into the country, and provides sufficient hotel space in the country. This government came in and they changed it. And the only reason why the people are benefiting in housing is because Lennox Linton and others, made the revolution that a lot of the monies, the billions were missing. But they were not on their own doing things to improve the country and so on. I mean, in some cases, they put money in to the private sector to give them support to expand their business and to grow and so on. In Dominica, you see people building hotels, who we belong to, and then the Prime Minister saying that if they want money, come to you. Who want to come to you for anything? Put them on at the aid bank, as it was done before, and in the bank at a low interest rate, and let people go there and negotiate their thing for survival. Who have to come to you? Since when people come to Prime Minister to seek favor and so forth. I mean, Skerrit is a person of Vickers who became Prime Minister. We want to respect him, but you have to understand there are systems of government that must be established for people to move forward. You have to each and every step and look for you and look for favor, and therefore their vote belong to you because you help them. No, they're looking to create business, to employ people. That should be your mission as a government. So obviously she's correct. They're more interested in dictatorship. I mean, I remember there was a time that Henry Judd was sent to Venezuela as an election observer. He was sent to Venezuela as an election observer, and we know very well that in Venezuela, the people who win elections, can you imagine you win an election and you had to run from the country, leave the country, and you cannot be installed to operate and to lead your country. You have to be living outside, and nobody says nothing. They don't say anything wrong with that, and so on. And if these shows on their feet, they will be talking. I mean, we have to face reality and face things. I mean, what is happening now, we're not happy about it. But unless we change course, we follow ourselves into those situations. On the other thing to do with the visa and all of that, I mean, so sad that we find ourselves in that area because a number of persons who I know who had their visa and the visa expired, haven't even renewed their visa, and they were looking to do it in the coming year and so forth, and therefore it's going to be a struggle. What I gather from Gaston Brown, Prime Minister of Antigua, is that whatever discussion they had, what they assured them was that the visa holders, present visa holders, and green card holders will not be affected, and so forth, right? But anybody applying for a new visa will come January 1st will not be given a visa to enter the United States. And that is in the proclamation. With the proclamation that is there, they just reassure them that is it. That's what I get from Augustine. There is nothing new, nothing has changed in what was set out. And Matthew, one may have the issue with President Trump, but it's not President Trump alone behind this. I mean, a lot of skillful, high level people are behind this thing. I mean, you look at Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I mean, I saw a clip where he was saying in a video where he was saying and mentioned the countries in the Caribbean that is cooperating with the United States, and there are those who just decide not to cooperate. You can imagine our Prime Minister here, to mind his business, is saying that he can be a mediator between the United States and Venezuela. I'm making a joke out of this high level of diplomatic tension that is going on in our country and in the world and so forth. You are saying that they haven't made any statement, and the Russian made statement that they will enter if America is in the region against Venezuela. They'll enter.
No, but I'm hearing opposition persons like yourself have been given a gift for the Christmas. So what are you gonna do about this issue and more, Johnson? Before I wrap up, what are you guys doing about this situation where, of course, Dominicans are not being allowed to get visas anymore? Are you gonna jump on this?
Well, Matt, it's not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing. It's a sad situation, and therefore you don't want to get gift at the expense of people and so forth. But in that case, this government has dragged us into that, and therefore the whole idea, the whole mission, the whole movement must be that this government must clear the way and allow people who are serious about governing this country to take the lead of this country, and at the same time, people who are still in diplomacy. And can you imagine they had an issue with Lauren Bannis and the Syria thing, and they followed on that, and immediately you hear the appointed ambassador Sommer, who is Britain, the High Commissioner in Britain, and she's the one that was appointed. So there's a joke, back and forth joke that is going on in this country, not seriousness. There are a number of Dominicans who are capable to represent Dominicans overseas in these diplomatic relations, and they're being passed on because they're not singing the song, or they're not bowing or kneeling for this government, and that is wrong, Matt, and so forth. And quickly before you go, though, I just want to say the young lady you spoke to, the young lawyer, I agree with her. When the eyes is on your country, even if you have a visa or you have a green card, when you enter in at the point of entry, the immigration officer will still carefully look at you and therefore determine if they should even allow you in, you know.
Yep.
It doesn't mean because you have a visa, you just walk in and just say, I'm here, open the door, you know. They will still look at you. And if they suspect that there is something that, whether they're right or wrong, that prevent them from allowing you in, they'll prevent you. So that's why Dominicans are with those with visa holders and green card holders presently has to be very careful as to how they move and be very, very smart about their going to the United States and how they present themselves to the immigration officers.
All right, caller. Thank you very much, Bosto. Thank you very much. There are more phone calls coming in at this time. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Stick around. Somebody saying, good morning to you, Matt. Can they tell us what is Lauren Bannis doing for the U.S., in the UK, or for us in the UK? When she managed our reputation in Syria for Dominican's passports? Mr. Christian is so right. Send me this song. Who wrote this song? I'm so loving it.
Oh Lord, visa gone. Struggle getting real. USA shut the door. Tell me how we supposed to feel, government.
1041. Hello, yes.
Let the love, life, healing, joy, gratitude, courage, and sacrifice.
Good morning to you, blessings. Good morning.
Mr. Pelty, blessings. Mr. Pelty, if you have your blood brother and all you're on a mission and you see it get captured and it's being hacked with machetes and guns and bullets, if you're not making the ultimate sacrifice to go and die with your brother, what should you do, Matt?
I'll just walk away. I'll stay away.
No, run. You have to run, not walk, no, Matt. You have to run away. Because he who fights and run away will live to fight another day.
Another day, yes, you're right.
So, you see, I have things in courage in the absence of caution is either you're making the ultimate sacrifice or you're just being a damn fool. But there is a very thin line between bravery and stupidity. I want to commend Kamala Passad Bissessar But America have done all what it could do. America is rapidly on the decline. You know, Hurricane sang a song, I feel like a wounded lion. Don't cross me. You know that song, Matt?
I know that, yes.
Any animal that is wounded is desperate and dangerous. All the OECS and CARICOM, all of them, they corrupt Alba money, oil money, Venezuela. Look at what happened in Dominica, zone of peace. Look at what they have done to the opposition, the zone of peace. So I think, Matt, discretion should prevail. They should discuss the matter diplomatically, intelligently, commonsensically, discretionately. But they can't remain silent and wish it away, Matt. The judge, people don't even know what that is. It seems like Dominicans or the Caribbean leaders, right? You hear Gaston Brown talking how skilled they are, Matt? So they will not get sanctioned under America visa restriction or whatever it is. You know, Gaston really looking like Adolf Hitler. You must take a good look at Adolf Hitler, Matt. With the little moustache.
You're not easy, boy.
And you will see how. So when Skerrit asking, you are wanted. So they have a bigger wanted person out there. So you want to mediate or negotiate, they have you under the gun. You want to negotiate or mediate between Venezuela and America, Skerrit? Skerrit, I know everyone has to have his own, how they say, the self-worth, the self-importance, you're not all of that. But Skerrit, you're not all of that for you to think. You see two elephants fighting, all of a sudden you think you're big enough for you to go and fit yourself between them, my brother. For you to try to see how we are going to survive. Matt, let me shout out Crispin Gregoire. Matt, can you imagine? You know these days, Matt, people don't even bother much about the traditional way of eating. Everything comes from overseas, Matt. Oil and everything else. Matt, can you imagine a war in Venezuela, Matt? No. All of a sudden, he talk about tourism and other trade and other things. What is going to happen to the Caribbean? No, they're busy now. But I like America, you know, Matt. People can say what they want. Matt, when your bully and a bigger bully comes along, the bully that is traditionally putting blows on you, Matt, which bully would you support? Not the bully that comes to beat the other bully.
True.
I support in the bigger bully now. So you Skerrit, who do so much in Dominica, frame people, say they hack into your computers, you and Tony Astafan. So much things that you do. Tell people go to hell, they're afraid in the ass. You tell Dominicans all kind of nastiness. Lately there you say choke, pool, all kind of things. Go to hell. Dominica is too free. Now I find you a bit timid, eh? I find it a bit toned down. No, Dr. Fountain, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. You need to seize on these opportunities, the Devanche, the passport, the Venezuela, and many other issues, Dr. Fountain, and press on, you and your team. Dominica needs to be delivered. We're talking about Venezuela and America. Now, America is the worst country in the world. But how many countries how many people in Dominica you know that is resided in China? If it's not studied, they're going to study them at.
Not too many for sure. Not too many at all.
The same haters of America, all of them, that's where they want to go. But I have my beef with America. America is at war with America. In universities, in colleges, in high schools, in churches, and supermarkets, it's mass shooting and killing. And yes, America have all its faults. China is better than America. Russia is better than America. Which country that is better than America? We all have our flaws. We all have our shortcomings. I make sure what I want about Skerrit, I need to be self-examined and see where I'm going wrong and say, me myself, you know, have skeletons in my closet. But I can give Skerrit nephew because he's responsible for all of us. So let me tell us something in conclusion, Matt. All who think they're bad and bold in the Caribbean, go and join in solidarity with Venezuela. Matt, Russia is not weak. Matt, Russia is finishing with all kind of British, Canadian, American, and German mercenaries. Members of NATO that are not directly in the fight, but it's a proxy war So they secretly sending mercenaries to fight against Russia, and Russia killing them in the thousands, man. The Russians have fought and they know how to fight. America like trouble, but it don't like to lose soldiers. Maybe Russia don't mind, but it will do what it has to do. So all of all, you go and join Russia, join China, join Venezuela, and go and fight against America. When the hammer drops, even all your own people you have in America, maybe Western Union and MoneyGram, they just go in and clamp that down, or you cannot travel. All of that. Where else? Dominica is more important than all these foolish issues. So, Matt, a man's supposed to be wise. You see your brother getting hacked and shot. If you can escape, the best thing to do is escape and try to take vengeance for your brother. But to go and join in the battle to see the kind of size of the enemies that killing your brother. Now it's time for you to seek for shelter. Matt, thanks all the time. Blessings.
So living life on the merry-go-round.
Good morning, Dominica. 12 to the hour of 11.
But I see it in you.
Just receiving some sad news there. The son of Mr. Badwell, former port manager,
We gon' walk it out.
Jesse Badwell, just received information to inform that his passed in Trinidad and Tobago, where he flew for medical treatment. He was at the hospital for a few days, but he was flown out a few days ago, and to family and friends, our deepest sympathies on the passing of Mr. Jesse Badwell, an employee of the Auto Trade Company. Again, our deepest sympathies. Now, the kind of news you want to share sometimes.
The silence is in, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Ooh,
Our deepest sympathies.
bring it to its feet.
Hello, 1050. Talk to me.
Matt, good morning.
Morning to you, my brother. How you doing? Yes.
I'm good. Matt, Jesus Christ was crucified between two thieves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even while on the cross, one of them dug in his heels and said, "Oh, if you think you're Christ, save us," and so. I saw that as compared to our two prime ministers. Sanctions are being imposed on them, and rather than trying to be factual and truthful to the people, they come back and lying to the people. At no time, Mark, if my mind is correct, the proclamation said that those who are holders of U.S. visas would be denied entry into the U.S.
No.
I think it said applicants for new visas.
Mm-hmm.
But then our leaders turn it around now and try and tell the people, oh, we have successfully negotiated and they have reversed it. And if you have a visa, you can go to America. That was never an issue. That was never an issue. So like the sleep on the cross, they're still digging in their heels and trying to make the people and them think that they are their salvation. They have come and they've done something good for them. Rather than eating some humble pie and saying, okay, we have gone wrong. Just a couple of months ago, Gaston was saying, we are too skilled. They can never impose sanctions on us. Today, he has his diplomat in U.S. lying to the people that they've negotiated. What have they negotiated? Absolutely nothing. Now, Matt, there's another issue that concerns me.
Okay.
I see OECS have issued a statement. Matt, was the OECS functional, operational, and in effect when Dr. Friday was being sworn in as the new Prime Minister of St. Kitts earlier this month? Because I am wondering if he was. Because what I saw was not the OECS. I saw an all-boys club, the Labour Club, in St. Vincent.
Oh, in St. Lucia, no, you saw.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
In St. Lucia, there was an all-boys club. But when it was Dr. Friday's turn, not one leader was there. Even the opposition Prime Minister, Big Belly Ralphie, was in St. Lucia. Unlike the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, they didn't invite him. So when you're talking about OECF, I want to know if it is an all boys club, Labour members, or if it is the country, because it seems like it's only the Labour Party members. If you're not a member of the Labour Party Boys Club, they sideline you. You're not a part of the OECF. So when they're using OECF, let them use it in the right context they want. Let them say that the Labour boys are showing solidarity with Dominica and not the OECF, because they conveniently use those terms when they want to do it. I said earlier on that CARICOM was on its way out, and this is simply because of political interference. And you see what is happening today? Trinidad is pulling out of it, and it will happen. Before you leave the show today, or Matt, when you leave in, I want you to play Sparrow's song. If they know they didn't want Federation, 1 from 10, Federation, why you remember his name? If they know they didn't want Federation. All right? I want you to play that song.
I'll cue that one for you. 449-3095-96. We only have about 7 more minutes on this talk on the block. Oh, sorry, on the hot seat this morning. I even get confused there. 449-3095-96 and 97. Let's take a phone call. Yes.
Matt, good morning.
Morning to you. Yes. How are you doing?
I am good. First, let me sympathize with Mr. Badwill for that young man who passed. As I felt so sad when you say that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my young people. Matt Skerritt cannot fight for Dominicans outside there. No way. The only thing he can do is fight with Dominicans in Dominica. Give them net free. Tell them all kind of word. Or when he have his insurance, he can go there and they will clap. All kind of words he can tell them. But if it's to fight for Dominicans out there, he cannot. Come in and lie and say, take your visa and go for it to see. Because when they scrutinize you, they might let you pass, Matt. They might let somebody else pass. But that person might not pass. So everybody haven't got the same luck if it's not, what do you call that? If it's not equal, like...
Yeah, because they have a choice. They don't always have to let you in, but so you can take your chance if you have to, or if you want to.
Very well. That's all. Take your chance. And that is it.
All right, caller. On the telephone, you have 5 more minutes. Hello, yes.
Yeah, Matt, I just want to extend my condolences to Mr. Badwill, his family, the brother, co-worker. Blessed transition. Mr. Badwill, long time I see you, but blessings to you. Sorry to hear what is happening, but life is just a transition. And Matt, CARICOM, CARIGO, look, that fuck tongue, that's all they have in the Caribbean. Matt, remember cricket, big island and small islanders and all of them, they're fighting? They could not get their act together for so many years. Now what you want to talk about zone of peace? You're not fighting now? Dirty little labor workers and who in solidarity? The brother just said it. Who in solidarity with who? Based on who won. Nobody's coming and say congratulations because he's on the other side. And now the hammer dropped. And all. We have not seen nothing yet, Matt. What we're looking for is where we are looking from. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
People want to know why Jamaica run from the Federation. Well, they want to know why Jamaica run away from the Federation. Jamaica have a right to speak your mind. That is my opinion. And if you believe in democracy, you'll agree with me. But if they know they didn't want Federation, they know they don't want to unite as one.
Somebody says CARICOM has failed us. Skerritt and never once condemned his wanton and reckless sale of passports. Although passports have the seal of CARICOM, When will we face the truth of the destruction of our national reputation?
When they didn't get the capital site, that nearly caused big fight. When Sir Brantley Adams took up his post, that even made things worse the morning. We ain't want no beach and premier. Trinidad can't be capital.
CARICOM seem to be falling apart, boy.
It went on to a big referendum, but did they know they didn't want federation? No, they don't want to unite as one and only one.
Good morning to you, Greg Baptist.
Not in favor. Don't behave like a blasted winner. How did that you in your bed and make it no more?
2 more minutes as we take our final call this morning. Hello, yes?
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning to you, my brother. How you doing?
Matt, we're talking about a very complex issue that has its pros and cons. You know, it's difficult to just jump on one side of the wagon because the West Indies, as that song is indicating, from the Federation, it's been undermined. Its unity has always been undermined. We've been kept separate. And there are hidden forces behind that, Matt. There are secret agencies who want to keep us apart. So it's not a very simple cut and dry issue that we're on the side of America or we're on the side of Venezuela. Venezuela made attempts to unify us, and the CIA may very well be wanting to keep us apart. And in that whole process, that whole conflict with all the different issues of Trinidad taking the side of the U.S., it may be that the CIA is smiling because it kicks it down the road, the unity of the Caribbean Sea, which they don't seem to want. They want to dominate that area and keep it impoverished. It's a known fact, and that's why I say it's not a cut and dry issue. It's a complicated issue to be on one side or the other. Yes, we want to get rid of cocaine and gang violence and gun running. Yes, but at the cost of disunity to the Caribbean? That's the question. Enough said, Matt. Thank you.
But I find we should all be together, not separated as we are, because of Jamaica. If they know they didn't want federation, no, they don't want to unite as one. Tell the doctor you're not in favor. Don't behave like a blasted traitor. How did that girl you mean you are fucking no more?
I'm leaving you this one. Always a big request, huh? See you the 1 o'clock hour talk on the block.
Struggle getting real. USA shut the door. Tell me how we supposed to feel. Government messing up. People paying the price. Time to rise up now. Time to make things right. Things are gone. See the pressure upon we face. All the plans we had seem not a place. But we strong. We go stand up as one. From Dominica to the world, we still go carry on. Trump say no more. Visa done. Government fails. All the trust is gone. We're feeling the pain all across the land. Dominica suffering. We need a better plan. Families crying. Dreams get put on hold. Story of the youth never fully told. We used to fly, look, work, try, strive. Now the same small rock, having all we survive. But we can't just fall, can't just complain. Time to build we own, break out of the chain. With the door locked, we still go find the key. Start fixing home, start fixing we. Visa gone, we can't travel no more. Government failures, close up the door. Trump say no, and we're feeling the pain. Time to fix we home, make it right again. Visa gone, but the spirit's still strong. We go turn this earth into freedom song. From the mountain top to the ocean shore. Dominica rise, we deserve much more. Youth in the streets, looking for a chance. Government playing, while the people dance. Big speech, big talk, nothing really changed. Same old stress, just a new exchange. Education and jobs need to be the key. Next generation, be truly free. Not just run abroad, begging for a start. We need opportunity right where we are. Farmers in the valley, fishers on the coast, working every day, but still hungry most. We're rich in the land and the river so clear, but the wealth not reaching the people down here. So we can't just wait for some foreign plan. We must love we own and invest in the land. The system failed, we go build it back. Put the people first, keep the country on track. Visa gone, we can't travel no more. Government fails, close up the door. Trump say no, and we're feeling the pain. Time to fix we home.